Peter Eliades with you. I'm doing this on Saturday, the weekending August 30th for the market on a Friday. This is August 31st, 2019. We're going to spend some time this weekend catching up on some of the weekly charts. There isn't any strong, confident position in terms of where we are. I'm favoring a downside resolution because of some of the things we'll show you. But you can still make a bullish argument based on some of the other things I'm going to show you. This chart that we're looking at now is a 39 to 40 week offset for nominal 78 to 80 week projections on the S&P 500 cash index. Notice how the projections have just been spot on for the last 6, 7, 8 months. This projection was given, this is the December low right here at the bottom left of the chart. The crossing of the offset lines took place in this area, which gave a projection on the S&P cash to between 2,903 and 3,023.14. And lo and behold, the high that we saw on the week ending May 3rd was 2954.13, right within the heart of the projection window. From there, we broke down, went below the offset lines, gave a projection to between 2744.78 and 2698.25. The low was 2728.81, again right within the heart of the projection zone. From there, a move up again from that May low, and the projection that was given on the next move up called for a move to between 3009.36 and 3071.71. Of course, the high 4 or 5 weeks ago was 3027.98, again, right in the heart of that projection zone. From that point, we have moved to the downside. No projections generated on this offset, mind you. There are some downside projections generated, but not on the 39 to 40 week offset. And in fact, you cannot get projections on this offset until the offset lines, the 39 and 40 week offset lines, are crossed below. We're a long way away from something like that happening. Let's take a look at the 20 week offsets. 20 week should be here. And this one is quite interesting. We gave an upside projection, nominal 40-week projection. Remember, this is a 20-week offset. That's the green line. And that upside projection called for 3112.61, 3282.83. That's this rectangular box here. The only way for that projection to be invalidated would be to see, after the crossing above, a subsequent crossing below the green line. So there's only two things that can happen to projections. They're either met by moving into the box or invalidated before they are met by moving below the offset lines, before the projections are met. So we're in an iffy situation here. We did not get up to the upside lower projection, 3112.61, and we have started to pull back to the area where these upside projections could be invalidated. Look how close it was this week. They were not invalidated as yet, which means that this projection remains in effect. They could easily be invalidated next week with a move below this line, and you can see how close they are. Although we closed at the upper end of the bar range for the week. So this move, if these from this closing price of 2926.46, we resolve to the downside, then we can invalidate this upside projection. With this same offset, just to show you things do get complicated from time to time, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average with that same offset. As you can see from this chart, the Dow has indeed the median for the week. Last week moved below the offset line. Now, I generally don't like to be strongly confirming of projections when the move is actually in the opposite direction. Had this median, I'm talking about the median of the bars now, which is the midpoint from each weekly bar. This again is the DJIA, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And we had a down median, a down medium, a slightly down median. On the week where we gave downside projections and invalidated this significantly higher upside projection, that happened to be an up week on the median. And this week was another up week on the median, as you can see. So I'm not completely comfortable with this downside projection yet, although it has definitely been given on a technical basis. Let's take a look at what that projection calls for. On the Dow, 24,120.37 to 24,716.42. So on the Dow, the downside projection has been given. On the S&P 500, has not been given. On the Dow, this upside projection has theoretically been invalidated. It has not been invalidated on the S&P 500. So as you can see, we remain in an iffy situation. It could be resolved very quickly next week. We get a move down like this into this projected area. We've resolved any of these contradictions between the indexes. On the other hand, if we get a strong move up and the Dow median gets back above this green line, that would seem to be resolving things to the upside and could well reestablish this upside connection. Let's take a look at the 10-week offset on the again on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Here we go. Look what's happening here. This is a very clear downside projection. Again, as I said in the last chart with a 20-week offset, I would prefer to see the downside projection being given on a down week. That did not occur. It occurred on an actual slightly up week in terms of the midpoint of the median of the bar for the week. And again, this week, a slight move up again in the midpoint of the bar for the week. So we've had two slight moves to the upside. There's no question that this green line has been moved below, however, and that indeed gives a downside projection of 24,173 and change to 24,760 and change. So this is one of the reasons why I say I give a slight favoritism to a downside resolution from here. You know what to be looking for next week, of course. What you should be looking for next week is whether the Dow can get above a median of 26, let's say 635 or so. If the midpoint of the Dow high and lows for the week are above 26, 635 or 40, then that would mean that we've moved back above this offset line, invalidating the upside projection and, reestablishing the upside projection and invalidating this downside projection. So that's one thing to be looking for next week. There are a lot of other things we could show you, but we don't want to extend this video too long. So stay with us, though, because the next couple of days next week are going to turn out to be very important, as you can see from these charts. And we'll be doing an update on Monday. See how things resolve at that point. Thanks for watching.